Hi guys, Tristan here from Design Central, just bringing you another tutorial today on how to create the falling block effect on your intros or texts. I'm going to create something that looks like this. As you can see, it's quite a simple design, so why don't we get started? What we want to start by going is going to MoText, or MoGraph and then MoText, and creating a text layer. Probably going to type in design again. Come on, can't spell, as always. And then choose your font. I'm going to go for Impact. And then change my depth to about 50. Wrong button. My depth about 50, there we go. Sort my camera out. Next, what you want to add a floor. So if you go to the little light icon, hold it down and go to floor, there you go. The floor is looking quite small, so if you want to make it bigger, go onto the coordinates tab, and go for the middle slot, go type in 5 by 5 by 5, that should be plenty big enough. There we go. So now you want to choose the object that you want to fall. In this case, we're going to use a cube, so select a cube, and then go on to object, and I don't know, change it to about 50 by 50 by 50. That's looking good. Okay, and now what you want to do is you want to go onto MoGraph, and then choose a cloner, and drag the cube onto the cloner tab. There you go, creates like that little stair there. So then what you want to do is you want to go onto the cloner, and change the count down to 1, so that there's only one cube. You may be wondering why we're doing this thing, it's not really cloning it anymore, but emitters only work with cloner objects. So now what we want to do is click onto this little symbol here and choose the emitter and drag both the cloner and the cube onto the emitter. And there you go, you're getting more of a stair there. Okay, so if you go onto the emitter, you can see it down here. Probably want to move it above the text so you can have the things full. Just rotate it around. If you hold shift, you can go up in nice even numbers, so go to about 90, probably add a little bit of a slant. There you go. But then it's looking rather small, so what you want to do is go onto the emitter and then go onto the coordinates. No, sorry, go onto the emitter tab and then change the size, probably about 300 by 300. There you go. That's looking plenty big. I'll move this into the middle. There we go. So if you press play now, you can see the little white dots coming out. So if you want to get rid of that, go onto the emitter and go onto particle and then tick show objects. And then press play again. You can now see the cubes coming out. There we are. It's looking quite good. But they're coming out quite slowly. So you want to ramp the speed up from 150 to say 600. What does that look like? That's still looking quite good. I reckon we can go a little bit faster. Go up to 800. Can't this be adventurous? There we go. I like that. But there is quite a lot coming out. So if you go onto look under the birth rate editor, that's currently at 10. I'll give it around about 7 or 8. I'm going to go for 8. See what that looks like. There you go. Not as many coming around. If you want to add rotations or just edit the way the cubes come out, go for I'm going to go for a 60 degrees. There we are. That just makes them spin a little bit, 100% variation, just make sure it's maximum variation. There we go. Okay, now what do we want to do? Now, well, as you can see, it's going to the floor, isn't it? So we don't really want that. So if you go onto the floor up here, right click dynamic tabs and create a rigid body if you have it there. If in my case you don't, you want to go to simulation, dynamics and create rigid body. You also want to do one onto the cube. There again, or simulation, dynamics, create rigid body. So as we see now, they're bouncing off the floor, which I think is looking quite good. But just to make it a little bit better, you can go to the floor and you can click dynamic body. Sorry about that. If you go to the floor and click collision, you can change the friction up to make sure it doesn't slide around as much. It doesn't look more like ice than an actual solid. So there we go. Not bouncing around so much. Pause that, put that in, and then bounce, make it more like a hard surface. You can ramp that up. I'm going to go for about 70%. See what that looks like. There we go, that looks good. But as you can still see, the cubes are still going through the text. So what you want to do, you want to go into your MoText layer, and again, add a dynamic and create rigid body. And for the text layer, if you click on the little rigid body tag and go onto collision, you want to set your individual elements to all, and then go onto the dynamics tab, and you want to put trigger on collision. So now, when the rating gets hit by things, it will bounce up. Not sure what happened there. Let me just adjust my text layer a little bit. There we are. Move my emitter up again. Okay. So now on collision, they'll start to fall and get knocked down. There we are. And that's looking good. However, I'm going to change my font as it's not really working. Or actually, no, I'm just going to put it all in capital letters. Make it a little bit better. There we are, that's looking a lot better. Let's undo that. Put your floor, if you want to get it down quickly, just go onto the y-axis and go down to 0. There you go, that will set it right at the end. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, that's looking a lot better. So if we just make it look more professional by adding colours and lights and stuff. So I'm going to go back to my intro and get the orange colour I used in that. Probably a bit lighter. There we go. And then create a lighter grey. There you go, that looks good. And then what you want to do is you want to drag the grey on, then drag the grey on twice. Whoops, undo. Hitting all the wrong buttons today. And then drag the orange on. And on the orange, if you go down to selection and type in C1 and hit enter, it will now just select the front layer and the orange will only be pasted onto that. So if you see in the back, go up to the top. You can see the orange is just on the front, whereas the grey is all around the rest. Okay, so if we add a thing to the floor, I'm going to go for a white, just go full white, and then add a reflection to give it a little bit more contrast. So I know I said in my last tutorial, if you're going to use reflections, always go Fresnel, but however for floors, contradicting myself here, it doesn't always work the best. If you want to go to about, I'm going to go for about 30, 35, there you go, that should look good. And put that on there. Oh, do you want to render that one out? Okay. So you're getting a nice little reflection there, and I think that's working quite well. I'm going to add a light now. So, undo, drag this across there, drag it back this way, up again, I'm probably going to go back more into the middle. There we go, that's looking rather good. And now we need to add a material to the cube. So if we click that, I can make a new material, and this material actually works really well for this scene, just the default one. So if we click on that and then press play, render that out, I think that's doing quite good. However, it's missing something, which in this case I do believe is the shadows. So shadow, and then click golden light, general shadow, shadow map soft, and this should give us some shadows. There we are, that's looking a lot better. However, I'm going to move the light. Not a fan of where it is at the moment. Move it over to this side, move it back a little bit, up, see what that does. There you go, that's much better. So, continue to play this scene out, render that, and there you go guys, that's your final design. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please tune in for the next one.